Welcome to On the Radar, where we chat about all things weather. Now, obviously today we're going to be talking about the floods. So we're going to start off by me showing you where I go to get all of the latest information online. And then we're going to take a look at some of the remarkable footage that we've had come through over the last few days. Now, we have had a few technical issues and everyone is under the pump at the moment. So we have done a bit of pre-recording today, but hopefully it all still comes together okay. So stay tuned. Okay, folks, we shared my screen a few minutes ago because we've been having a few connectivity issues here. So this information may be a little bit out of date by the time that you're seeing it, but hopefully if you follow these steps, you will be able to repeat the process and get the most up-to-date information when you're going through. So I'm going to start today by showing you where you can get emergency information. Now we're starting off here on the ABC emergency page, which you can get to by just Googling ABC emergency, or we'll provide all of these links in wherever we're providing links. So basically on the ABC emergency webpage, you can get a lot of great emergency information like how to prepare a survival kit, how to find your nearest ABC radio frequency for emergencies for when the internet goes down, like it did for me earlier this week in Tasmania. You can also get to the prepare for floods information and lots of other great information in there. Then the other thing that the ABC emergency webpage provides is information on your latest warnings near you. So you can get to that by either just putting in your suburb or postcode, or you can get to the big incident map, which is a map for the whole of Australia. Now, when this loads, it actually loads all the different emergencies from all around the country. So you can get a really good big picture idea of where things are going on. And obviously at the moment, we've got all the flooding down the east coast and the rain. Then we've also got the ex-cyclone up here in the NT. So there's tons of cyclones. There's one cyclone and lots of floods going on the east coast at the moment. So if you zoom in, we can then get to all of the more local information. So if we get closer into Sydney, you can start clicking on places near you and get a much better idea of what the situation is around you. Now, this is particularly handy if you're on holiday or if you don't know your area particularly well, to get a much better idea if you're not sure of what all the different names of the rivers are, etc. Now, the other place you can go if you want emergency information on just the weather and the flooding is obviously the Bureau of Meteorology webpage. Again, just shove BOM into Google. If not, we can provide a link. Now up the top here, we've got the emergency warning section, so you can go to all of your different state sections, or we can go to just the warnings for the whole of the country. Now, as you can see at the moment, there are a lot of warnings in place. Luckily, we can see here that there's been a cancellation of the severe thunderstorm warnings over southeast Queensland at the moment for a few of those there, which is good news for the people in the Wide Bay, Burnett, Darling Downs, etc. And for Brisbane, so hopefully they can get a bit of a break from those storms today. There's also a lot of flood warnings going on for New South Wales. Now, if we go back to the main page, there's lots of other cool things that you can find on the Bureau of Meteorology website. Over here on the right, we've got their latest severe weather update videos. Now, they put these out nearly every day in these kind of big emergency situations, sometimes more than once a day. So they're really good places to go to if you want the latest forecasts from a meteorologist who's got a lot of access to all of the data, so that's a really good place to go. And for anyone not familiar yet, you can also get to the rain radars on the BOM website. And I always like to have a look at the national radar loop. So we can see here that there's still raining over in Queensland, southeast Queensland, and we've still got rain situation going on down here in New South Wales. So the warnings might have lifted for some of those severe storms, but it's still raining. Now, this is pretty live information, so this is the latest that we've got going on. Now, the other thing that I wanted to show you is the BOM's rainfall and river information. Now, you can get to this through the Bureau of Meteorology website, but I find it a lot quicker to just go to BOM rainfall and rivers. So if you just put BOM rainfall and rivers into Google, it's the first hit. So on this page, we can get all of the different river levels across the country, as well as the rainfall numbers. Now, when we're recording this still hasn't been updated for today because it's only just gone 9 a.m. in Queensland. But if we go into New South Wales, you can see the rainfall for the 24 hours to 9 a.m. and you can click in and see all of the individual rainfall totals. And there's some pretty big ones we've got going on. Basically, red's over 100, so we've got some really big rainfall totals over the last 24 hours for parts of New South Wales, especially just up on that range there, which is pretty much to be expected. We've also, once you get into a local area, you can get the rainfall since 9 a.m. Again, you can go into all those individual sites and the rainfall in the last hour. So that's a really good way of keeping up with what's gone on around you. But back to the river conditions, we can get information on where all the rivers are sitting. So we've got a major flood situation going on in the North Richmond River. And then for a few of these locations, if you click through onto the individual site, we've then also got the plots of how that river level has risen over the last few days. So as we can see, the Hawkesbury here at Windsor has been rising pretty steadily since about midday Wednesday, and it's approaching major flood levels, but it's not quite there yet. Now, if we go back to the Queensland section of this, they've actually got a little bit more information on the floods there. So if you click down into southeast Queensland, you can actually see the updates on each of the different river systems. So if we go into Lower Brisbane, you can actually get information on each of the rivers and whether they're rising or falling and the last time that information was taken in. And again, you can get to the plot information here, where we can see that the river really rose from Saturday up and down with the tide all the way until that peak on Monday, where the river got over major flood levels. And then it has been slowly declining, but still going up and down with the tide there in Brisbane. So there's lots of information you can find. All of the information I've just shown you is publicly accessible and it's all free. So yeah, I really hope that this is a bit of information which you can find helpful. And if there's anything else that you would like to know that I can help you show you how to look up, I'm happy to do so. So while I'm here today, I'm going to show you some of the truly phenomenal footage that we've had come through over the last few days. So starting off, this pair were lucky to make it out of floodwaters in Everton Park in Brisbane. Please don't put yourself in danger, folks, and stay out of floodwaters when you possibly can, and call authorities for assistance. Now, this footage was taken by Dave McChrystal, and
hello! They are in there, they're putting stuff up there. They are in there. The hairy down across these currents and this sort of thing.
It's ripping down.
Yeah.
Has it stopped coming over the wall yet?
Oh, no mate, it's still got more to go.
This is insane. This is the whole town.
Yeah.
Just
Big dodgy going across there.
Now, thanks again to everyone who has been sharing updates online. It's really helpful for those of us who aren't there to get an idea of what's going on. But of course, the main focus at the moment is safety, and this situation isn't over yet for many. So today I'm going to leave you with an ABC emergency video on how to prepare for a flood, and a reminder that there is a lot more information on what to do before, during, and after an emergency on that ABC emergency webpage. So until next week, I'm Kate Doyle, and this has been On the Radar.
If you're in an area that could be affected by flooding, it's important to be prepared with these essential tips. Plan ahead and prepare a kit. Make sure your emergency kit is complete and you and your family know of its location. Know the flood alert ratings. Know the flood ratings and what they mean. Use them as a trigger to stay or leave the area and familiarise yourself with the emergency services websites. Sandbag doors and windows. If you have time, prepare your home by sandbagging windowsills and doors to prevent water from entering. You can obtain a copy of your local council's flood plan to see if your home is in a high-risk area. Consider helping vulnerable people. Consider moving children, the elderly, and people with illness or disability away from danger as early as possible. And don't forget your pets and other animals around your home. Know when and where to evacuate to. If you're in high-risk flood areas, know where you will evacuate to and leave early. Don't wait and see. Come up with a plan to decide when to leave your home, where you will go, and how you will get there. Inform family of your plans. Always notify your family and friends of your plans and intentions. If you're searching for a family member, contact the local police and the Red Cross can help. Know how to turn off gas and power. Know the location of the gas mains tap and the fuse box at your property and turn them off when the flood approaches. If it's flooded, forget it. Stay out of floodwaters. They can be deceptive and dangerous. Roads can be completely shifted under the floodwaters and currents can easily force vehicles off bridges and roads. Floodwater is unpredictable. Letting kids play near drains, creeks or rivers puts them at risk. Beware of fallen power lines. Fallen power lines could still be live even if the power is out in the area, and floodwaters could be conducting electricity. Internet and other communications. Your home phone, computer or other devices connected to the NBN will not work if there is a power failure during an emergency. This means you may not be able to call 000 to access emergency services from your home phone. Stay informed with the ABC. During an emergency, your local ABC radio is the best option for the latest emergency information, so keep a battery radio on hand. Check with your emergency authorities for warnings and information specific to your region. Remember, stay connected in an emergency with your local ABC radio, on TV, online and via social media. Find more tips and advice at abc.net.au/emergency.